All right, all right, all right, all right. So, you there?
Yeah.
Story time. Okay. So, yours truly. He's driving down the road. He's late to work. He's almost there. And as he's going around the corner very fast, he sees a silver unmarked vehicle. And he says, "Oh shit, I'm in trouble." I've stared that car dead in the eye, watched for it to move. I'm like, "Oh, it's going to move. It's moving." And as soon as that car moved 10 feet, I pulled over. And I got pulled over yesterday. Or not yesterday, it's like 2 days ago for speeding. I was
You
going
s-
fast, baby.
you seen you seen the you when you said you turned, you seen the cops
Yeah.
and they got you.
Oh,
How
I knew I was caught. It wasn't even like I saw the unmarked car. It was coming off of Frankstown exit up there in Altoona, where like it's like it goes from like 70 to like 55.
hmm
I saw his car and I was like, I'm got. I'm got. Now hold on. The story gets better. So I pull over. Like I said, he just moved his car. I just pulled over. I already knew he got me. I was like, all right. His turned on his lights. He came up behind me. He said, I clocked you at I don't know. I want to plead the fifth, but I'm already pleading guilty to the ticket, so I might as well dispose the information.
No, don't do it. Don't admit nothing, Jeff.
Don't admit. Well, anyway, there's this ticket. I was only going 60 and a 55, and so he cut me a break. But the officer was kind of cool because he walked up to the window. First time I've ever gotten pulled over. And I look at him and I said, "Officer, hold on. Before I give you any of this, I said, can you do me a favor? Can you write on the ticket that you pulled me over at 6:58?" And he said, "Why?" I said, "That way I can tell my work that I was late because of you. Not that I was already running late." And he's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Well, I see what I can do." So, of course, he
tase
comes
them?
tases me. He's like, "I'll see what I can do." He comes back with my paperwork and he goes, "Okay, here's what I got." Zzz, bitch.
Yeah. You
All
want to
right, and
fuck with
that's what you
us? You
get.
want to tell us what to do?
No, no, but he was super cool and he said, "Well, he's like here, he's like I can't do that." He's like, "But I'll cut you a break." And he cut me a break because you know, I it could have been more. We're just going to say that. I'm not saying anything else. It just could have been more. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
So you didn't whip out your camera and be one of those fucking cop watchers, First Amendment
Yeah.
audit motherfuckers. You should
Yeah,
be
I
like,
should have been. I should have been like pull me over like so upset like I know my rights. I know
you,
my rights. I'm allowed to film you even though like I just got pulled over for a speeding ticket, just be
you'd be
like
like, I'm not giving you my
I'm not giving you
license.
jack. You can't have it. So I caught you speeding. You knew you pulled over because you knew I caught you speeding. No, no, I pulled over because I had to check my phone. That's why I pulled over. It's
Well,
just,
what is it like 150 something bucks or something?
yep, right on the nose actually. But anyway, I wanted to take this time because I found this. This is just some interesting things I wanted to share. Just to kind of start the show. Was little uh, factoids on speeding tickets, right? Just some little things I pulled up, found on the internets, right? So this is interesting. Over 100,000 people a day receive a speeding ticket in the United States, and the average speeding ticket is $150. One in every six drivers will get a speeding ticket this year, and $6 billion per year in speeding ticket fines are given out in the USA. I just think it's interesting because we live in a Commonwealth state. So like the fine isn't really that expensive. Like right, like the $150 I get fined isn't really that expensive. It's all the money that goes on top of that for the court fees, for the EMS, for the whatever. Because you're basically getting taxed. When you get that fine, it's like you're getting taxed to pay for all these other things.
The process. The
Yeah.
process of you to pay the money.
Right. But not just the process, like EMS, right? Like emergency response vehicles. They have nothing to do with me getting pulled over, but I have to pay them because it's like a tax. And a friend of mine brought up this really weird point that I was thinking about. He's like, so if you get taxed, right, by the Commonwealth, that you pay for an EMS outside of fundraisers and everything, right? Because if you get a ticket or fine, your tickets and fines pay for an EMS, kind of like a hidden tax on your fine. He's like, why doesn't we have like access to EMSs and like all these other things all the time, like for free? Kind of like how the road systems are.
Bro, we know this is like that's what we get taxed. Remember we talked about doing something on that, which we're gonna do one day. It's just taxes, how it's you get taxed over and over on everything that you do. So EMS is probably that's probably the way to maintain things, and then they look at it like that to maintain things and get things that they need, and then you got to pay that bill if you need them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Is what it
unfortunately.
is. It's one of those things that you find those hidden. Like if you really don't read it right, did you have to really look at it to see that, or did it jump out at you
What do you mean to see what?
on the ticket to find out like the like how much was going to EMS and all that?
It says it pretty clearly on the ticket. I mean, I can flash the ticket if you would all like to see it. Right there it is. I have to fill it out and send it in by tomorrow probably. Um, but not probably, but I'm gonna send it in tomorrow. But yeah, like I said,
It'd have been great if you'd have did the First Amendment audit and they fucking tased you. Then you could be like, see, black people, it's not just you. They get the
it's not just
gingers too.
they get the gingers too, man. They get the gingers too. It's a minority thing, man. Brother, I feel you. What did you call me the other day? You said I was your Nilla. They get the
Yeah,
Nillas too.
Manila.
My Nillas.
Manila.
All the Nillas.
Manila. All the nillas. They get the nillas.
Nillas too.
They get in the nillas. If you out there and you want to do, but those things, let's just touch on that real quick again. We touched on it before, but those guys are so fucking annoying that if I was there, and you know me, I can't. I respect good officers, but I can't stand those pricks to be honest. But if I saw somebody doing that, I would be like, "You're a fucking idiot, yo. You're a real idiot right now. You're just asking to get
Doing a
tased."
First Amendment audit for a speeding ticket. Yeah, I understand if it was like, remember, there was a guy in Altoona, that whole thing with Papa John's. We spoke with him. It was like a long time ago. Maybe I could see something
Oh
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
recording the police coming to but that I don't know, like a speeding ticket. Although there's just a lot of people that are like that, like I know my rights, just for no reason because they're spiteful of cops, you know.
Yeah, I seen one the other day. Speaking of, I seen one the other day where, I mean, they catch them. They're allowed to lie to you, so you definitely can. You definitely don't want. I mean, any lawyer with a grain of salt tells you don't talk to the police. Give them what's necessary for the situation, what you're legally bound to. And a lot of people don't. When they do that, don't even know their rights
Yeah.
half the time. The police don't even know the laws. They're just making up. And they had this guy that was parking, and they kept telling him that he was in like he was like parked in two spaces in a like a low, not a Lowe's. What's the other one? The
Home
green
Depot.
Home Depot. And they kept saying you're. He was like, well, why are you coming? I'm parked in a private property. And there's like, no, this is public. And it's not. It's private. It's owned. Any parking lot is owned by whoever gets the store. But they kept trying to force the issue and were threatening and threatening and threatening. And then when he asked for the sergeant came and said, you just got to leave the parking lot.
Uh,
So, you know what I mean? It happens. Trust me. When they have like, it's one of those things that I say that instead of like, when something bad happens with a cop, what happened in their earlier day or the night before? Were they arguing with because they come to work? That's a job you can't come to work and carry your extra life in. I'm not saying it's not a hard thing to do, but it's definitely one of those things that comes into way because they could have a stick up their ass and you're the first person that
they
they
see
see.
today. I was
Yeah.
gonna say this too. The quota system of the Commonwealth of being a cop, you have to make quotas and you have to make, basically because basically what cops are to me are Girl Scouts.
Salesman.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
they're
salesman
Girl Scouts. They have to market and they have to make a certain amount to pay to
to get
stay in the
raises.
club. Right, exactly. And that's what I was saying was you got a cop who pulls you over, and you might be a good guy because like it's my first time ever getting pulled over ever. Probably my first run-in with the law that was documented outside of maybe one of my car got stolen, but that wasn't me on that end of the spectrum.
Damn, you're a fucking criminal. Stop lying,
All
man.
right, fine. Grand Theft Auto, larceny, that's me. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I
Always
can't tell you.
plead the fifth.
I plead the fifth.
Go
But
ahead.
but you know me, man. I'm a criminal. I'm a sly criminal, man. But uh, yeah. But they're going to grab money and say, yeah, maybe he wants to let me off, right? He wants to let me off. The problem is he's got a quota to make. Maybe it's the end of the month, maybe it's the start of the month. And if he doesn't make the money and he doesn't, basically fine me, then, they're going to be like, well, what are you doing, Doug? You're pulling people over, but you're not fining them. And like, that's costing us. That's costing the police department, right?
And that's
Because they have to make
costing
their
you.
money back. And that's
That's
costing you.
costing you. And it puts pressure because cops don't make that much money. Puts pressure on the household. They're coming home without the raises and all that. Wifey's probably like, either I want some new shit, new furniture, something. What are you doing out there? Go bust some people.
Go bust some people. I need new shoes. I need new pumps.
But
I saw these Louboutins that look nice, and I want to go out next Sunday.
I think we should do something on that because that's something I have on my list of things to do to just like do a short little doc on. Because I watched something on that on YouTube. It was a Chicago cop, ex-cop. He got ousted out because he exposed everything. He said, listen, when those memos come out, when you get the pressure that says we need our quotas down, we need to make our quota, we have officers, he says, and I was guilty of it too until I realized what the fuck am I participating in? And he was driving around with the guy that was doing the things, and he says we don't go up to the good neighborhoods like the middle class neighborhoods and look for infractions. We go straight to the neighborhood and find something. Like if that guy jaywalks across the street, we're gonna pull him over. And he's like, we're pushed to get felony arrests, so we go look for these type things. And what he was saying was just unbelievable. And he was like, listen, I was guilty. I'd admit this. I was guilty of doing this until I realized that I'm costing people, you know what I mean, freedom. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm looking for things and I'm doing it illegally. If I catch you fair, just like when I had a conversation with a cop, and he was basically telling me when I was running around the street, I'm gonna get you. And he never, ever came at me wrong. He came at me in the manner, and I respected him for it because he would just pop up and say, we're going to catch what you guys are doing. He was just fishing, doing that. But he wasn't ignorant. And even when I got caught into some trouble, he came to me and said, hey, he's one of the guys that I can go to right now if I need a like a reference for anything. He'll sign the reference because he was like, you're not the guy that should be doing this type of stuff. You should be doing all that good stuff we see when we're checking up on you. You should be doing that. He was just a great guy. So I respected him. It was his job to catch me, and it was my job not to get caught by him. So we had that kind of banter.
It was your job. Yeah, right. So it was almost like a good rivalry, right? Like you guys were like it was like
fair.
It was like you were Josh Norman. No, it was like he was Josh Norman and you were Odell Beckham Jr.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? No, like respect for the game, but like you're all talking to each other, but you're like, yeah, but like I gotta do my job at the end of the day. I gotta make that money, and you gotta try and stop me.
And he was just one of those because you'll see different types of them. Like he was just one of those guys that was like he recognized people. He's judging you on really what your merit is. He's not judging if you're a dirty, son of a bitch that's gonna do whatever.
All right, Donald.
Still.
Donald, calm
You'll
down.
You'll steal from babies. You know what I mean? He's gonna treat you like that, but he's seeing, you're not. He said it. He warned me. He usually don't warn me, and so I respected him for that. So I don't have hate for cops at all. I just hate dirty cops, and I have my share deal with them. And speaking of cops, let's talk about that in Tempe, Arizona. Is it Tempe? I'm pretty sure it was in a Starbucks.
Right. The cops, there was a couple of cops in a Starbucks, and someone asked the cops to leave their presence because the presence of the cops being there offended them. And like they were probably sitting there in the corner like this, like man, I can't get those cops out of here. I don't know what the story really was, who it was that asked them to leave, but the cops left. And then like the Tempe, Arizona cops, like their Twitter tweeted out a picture that's I'm going by right now on our slides. It says dump Starbucks, and it was like a cup. It was like a cup of the Starbucks getting dumped out, and like there's all these people like pushing this movement because the barista walked up and said, "Hey, some people don't like that you're in the Starbucks. Can you please leave
Yeah, I think
or leave their site?"
I read some of it. They first asked them to move, I think. Like it doesn't matter either way. Like I get it. Like police, when police come around, it's intimidating, especially when they're dressed in like they're not dressed in their uniforms, but they got their guns and they're dressed in like maybe they're going out to do a raid. They look like they're on some militant shit. So maybe somebody did have some PTSD, but asking them to leave the spot
God, it's like, hey
is
man,
kind of crazy.
no, get these guys out of here. They can't have our coffee. They might
At
serve me
least
a warrant. I like. What if he was like, I got a warrant? He walked up to the barista like, listen, I got a warrant for my arrest. Can you like tell these guys
can
to
you
get
get
out of
these
here?
guys to get the fuck out of here? Hey, at
Yeah,
least Starbucks is consistent, man.
right. Yeah.
They're
Hey,
consistent with all their bullshit.
shout out to Starbucks, right? Because Starbucks was just like the barista's like, I got you, bro. Don't even trip. Walks
I'm
over
getting
to
them
the
out of here.
cops,
They're
goes,
making me. They're
hey,
making
listen,
me nervous.
right, right. But like, imagine having the balls as a barista to walk up to the cops and be like, "Can you guys leave?" Like asking the cops to leave your store. Could you imagine how much balls does that have? Think about that. To just walk up to a group of 6 cops. It was 6 cops. That's 6. Counting with my fingers. 6 cops. Walk up to a group of them and look them all in their eye and be like, "Hey, listen, like, you guys gotta go. Like, someone does not like you guys being here." Yeah, I mean, exercising your right as a business owner, I guess, because as a business owner, can't you ask? I mean, even if they were cops, right? They're still citizens. Could they still leave? Like, would you be authorizing them to leave the store? Could they do that? I think they can.
Yeah, they could do that, but it's one of those repercussion things that the cops are going to be like if that start any Starbucks, it's going to go across the nation too because
Mm-hmm.
we know them. We're the neighborhood that I'm from, and the ones that we talk about that exercise that are not following laws and they get caught doing things and the dirty ones basically,
Mm-hmm.
they are the biggest gang in the world.
Organized
And
crime.
yes, they do whatever. And so this will catch on where they'll be like, if a call comes to Starbucks, they're gonna take their good old time to get the Starbucks, have an attitude.
Mm-hmm.
That's the type of shit you get. But now in saying that, um, do we think like the because I look at it like the way things are done nowadays, it's very fucking close to a police state. It's very fucking close to the shit that I see time and time again, and that I even see myself. Because I even had at this place right here somebody come to my door looking for somebody, and the police officer was trying to come into my house and say, "What's your name? Show me your ID." And I was like, "No, you're not getting my ID. I'm not that person. You see that? Show me the picture that you think you're looking for me, and I'll give you my ID." And he just kept being persistent. He grabbed at my door. So that's police state bullshit right there.
Mm-hmm.
They had
Right.
no reason to come at like that. So I see it all the time. So I don't see like maybe the person had a run in with the cops and now he has PTSD. You could
Mm-hmm.
get that from having a bad situation with a cop.
Especially if like cop, like you were in one of those situations that you saw in Cops, like the show Cops.
And they fuck you up.
Yeah, when I got that speeding ticket, in hindsight, I should have did what Gabriel Iglesias did. I should have played Bad Boys by
Oh, they would have fucked you up, Dad.
yeah, right. Bad Boys, Bad Boys. I don't know, man. This cop was pretty, like, he wasn't like funny, but like he was cool enough that like if I did that, because honestly, if he was like kind of pissed, I'm like, "Sir, I'm doing this with the utmost respect. I'm like, I've never been pulled over, and I don't think I'm ever gonna get pulled over again. So I gotta make the best of this situation." And he's going to be like, "Oh, okay." And then, you know what I mean? Who knows? He probably would have gotten off better. He probably would have laughed and be like, "You know what? You're off the hook. It's a warning. Get out of here. Go to work." And I'd be like, "Hey, thanks,
Yeah,
officer."
yeah, I think they need to rehaul that whole police thing, the training, how much time it takes. Go back to community policing and get the people back on your side. Because I would love to go outside and see a cop and say, "Hey, man, thanks for what you do." But it's just not like that no more. You get
Right.
the anxiety feeling, even when you're not doing. I'm not
Mhm.
doing anything no more. I don't live that life no more. But I know that anytime if this dude is having a bad day, he can decide to make a problem with for
Right.
me.
Right. Well, I think where it comes from is the fact that they live in a commonwealth. Like the system that works for police stations is that they make their money the way they do. I think
Yeah, they
that's
need
the
to
stem of
rehaul
it
that.
because you know what I mean. It puts strain on a police officer because they have, instead of protecting people, they have to physically, they have to search out trouble, and if they can't make ends meet because they got a family to feed, they're gonna make trouble. They're gonna try and find it somewhere, right? Instigate it so they can get the money they need. You
Yeah,
know,
and yeah, and it's built on that. The police system should not be built on making sales,
right?
because that's what it is. Go get some sales, which are go arrest some fucking people.
Arrest some people, put out some
Get
fines, make some citations,
get creative.
plant the drugs. Sir,
So, hey,
excuse me, you dropped some coke, and it's like some like 19-year-old like white kid with like big circle oval glasses, and he's like a nerd. He's got like a plaid shirt on with a bow tie, and he's walking to the library. Excuse me, that's not my coke. And he's like,
be
nah, you
like,
dropped his
tase him,
coke. Tase him.
beat the shit out of him, take him
That's
down.
gonna be like
It's your coke, buddy.
that's gonna be like the rest of our show. That's gonna be like our hidden thing. So like randomly, we're just gonna go tase him, and
Tase him,
tase
fucking
him.
tase him. All right, fuck
Uh,
the cops, man. Not all cops. There's good cops. I got cops in my family. Some of them walked away from the job because of the reasons that they're there. Some of them that were very good cops, and I have respect for good cops that are out there really doing their job. I know their hands are tied because of a lot of things that go, but I still believe like if you're keeping your mouth shut, you know what I mean. When a cop does something, you shouldn't be mad at any criminals at all because it's basically
no,
the same thing. It's the
no,
same
no.
thing. So before we go on, like we got a little jump in like viewers. I just want to remind them what we do here at Bridging the Gap because we got a nice jump in followers yesterday. I want to
Yeah.
shout out him before we go. His name's Creator Cap, and he's over at Live Music Review. He's got a nice little following over there, and he's in the music lane, works in studio, produces music. A real good guy, man. He shot some people over to our page yesterday. He believes in the support shit that we preach. He's working hard. We're gonna have him on here pretty soon in some form of fashion. So if you get a chance, go over there and talk to him on Creator Cap at Live Music Review. That's on Facebook. He's looking for me. He does hip hop, so he's looking for some artists so he can do some reviews. He's got a nice following. If you got some hot ass tracks, I'm telling you right now, don't send no whack ass tracks because I went through the thing and they're top of the line people out here really trying to get it underground. So go check him out and give him some love too because he's giving that love. So yeah, that's why I wanted, and just remind people what we do, Dev. What do we do at Bridging the fucking Gap, really?
Bro. Like I said, this is the show for. I mean, because what we've noticed, this is the kind of the background story, but I'll kind of simplify it. We just noticed there was a divide in the nation, especially when we got your boy Donald Trump, not your boy, no one's boy. I don't know who's okay. Let me reframe that. Nobody's boy Donald Trump got in office, and we seem to almost had a divide in the nation where you had people on this side, you had people on that side, and nobody was talking to each other. Like you saw it on social media everywhere. No one was having a conversation. Everyone was, this side or that side. And if you're this, that, or you're this or that, then we cannot talk to you. And what this is all about is opening the doors and seeing our differences in the world and conversating about them instead of running away at the first sign of someone who has a conflicting view or whatever. Not just that, but on all things. We're not just talking about politically. We're talking on anything that you could possibly disagree upon, which is everything we talk about here on the show.
Yeah, and a lot, and bring some awareness and understanding of other people. So obviously, we use ourselves as the proof of concept of what we're doing is because we're from two different age brackets, two different races, brought up totally different, but we're trying to find similarities and to understand each other, be able to hold conversation, and I think we do that very well, and just be that example for people to understand. Because what I've learned in life, most shit happens is because this saying is people fear what they don't understand and they hate what they can't conquer. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so you can quickly find out why somebody has an issue with you, whether it's fear or they just don't understand it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? They don't understand who you are. So we try to bring those things like and topics that we kind of bring up. We try to find, me and Dev we found doing this that we have a lot of similar views. We have some that are not. We try to give different opinions from his eyes and the way he was raised and things like that. And I try to give my opinion from my eyes and my OG status out here.
OG, he's got an OG status. Yeah, I got an OF status, original farmer.
Original farmers. Remember we did the
EIEIO.
episode on
I got my award.
farmers.com?
Where are my awards at? I was like best in high school for like judging dirt, and I had a bunch of ag awards, and I
Get the
passed my
fuck. You're
Nocti.
Bro, why are we not getting a license to grow weed? If you're in agriculture, you've been checking dirt out.
I could maybe pull some strings. I passed my Nocti, I guess. I demonstrated the knowledge that you need to demonstrate to pass the Nocti.
To be a weed grower.
I'm not saying weed grower. I plead the fifth. Tase him!
Tase, hell yeah. Dan's gonna get tased once he gets off here. But it's gonna be legal soon. So we're gonna figure this out. I'm gonna dive deeper into your knowledge on fucking dirt and where we can grow some good pot at. It's just that simple.
Right. Well, I was gonna say the weather conditions in Pennsylvania aren't the most ideal, so growing marijuana year round is probably gonna have to happen indoors. So we're not really gonna be able to judge the soil, unfortunately. Then you could see my prowess for judging dirt, but you can't really.
We could get some good soil though.
Yeah, we could. We could get some real good
soil and bring it indoor. Yes. and bring it indoor. Yeah, so that's basically what Bridging the Gap is, and definitely another shout out to Creator Cat, man. I love people that are about that life. You reach out to him, you talk to him, you just wanted a couple advice, opinions, and he goes overboard with it. So we want to show love back to the brother.
Love, man, respect, all of that. Like I said, and he's working.
And he's working.
And he recognizes we're working, which is real recognizing real. So I appreciate that anytime I see you. Anytime. Now,
all right, so what else we got?
I want to get into this. It's making me mad, this Little Mermaid controversy, right? It's not making me mad for the reasons everybody thinks, because I'm not even on any side of the fence. The outrage side. What I'm on the side of is I don't think any of it's real. I think this is all like a fabricated meme thing that came out so they could start posting. I want to say it's an ad campaign for the new Little Mermaid. That's what I think. I think it's like either that or it's so they could start making these memes of so they had an excuse to start making the memes where they like start replacing white characters from 90s shows with black characters, like black people.
It's hilarious.
Because have you seen the memes? And I'm like, that's it, dude. It was just an in to create these memes, I feel like. I mean, of course, maybe it wasn't. It was just a trend on top of this thing that's already being controversial, and they're piggybacking off of it. But I feel like it was like fabricated, like everything about it. Because where is the real outrage? Have you seen anybody actually on your timeline, right? On your timeline, on your Twitter, anywhere actually saying like, the Little Mermaid's black? I can't believe it. I hate that the Little Mermaid's black. Like, no one cares, man. Like, I can't. Like, I can't care about it. It's like...
I've seen a couple people take it. Well, you're going to get the people out of the woodwork that are just at that side of the fence that they believe in division of everything. So they're gonna overdo it with their troll bullshit. But I don't...
Are they trolls or are they actually, like, nationalists? Like, racist nationalists? Or are they just trolls, like, saying that to be funny? Like
it's probably just flunkies. A bunch of flunkies. Yeah. Bunch of flunkies. But what I find interesting about it, like I watched the pull up with Joe Budden the other day, and he had Russ on. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about how the story they put out there about how he made it and how his success. You know, I hate the little fuck. He's cocky. I mean, I don't really like his music. He's a little cocky prick, but I respect him because of what he did and how he did his grind. So he was saying basically like people were trying to drag him because they said his dad had a job in the industry, a high up. And so he was basically a plant. But he explained it, and he said, and he was talking to Joe because Joe said something about it, and Joe didn't have the facts on his show without, confirming it. So he was like, yo, can we squash that part before we go on? So he's talking to him about it. He's like, my dad doesn't work there, and he told the story of his dad, and he fucking goes into saying, so you're believing, so he's like, there's 13-year-old people that start all these rumors and all these memes. And they're in their basement, in their mom's basement, bringing in money from different corporations, got keys to do certain things and put these memes into people's hands to do these type of things, which he's very right about. That's what I believe this was about. I believe it's just another thing to temperature check. I think it's that deep where they're like, hey, everybody's getting along again. This
Temperature
is
check.
something stupid. Pay the little 13-year-old kid. He's probably got like 5 million in his bank account. He has access to Facebook and Twitter and all that we don't have nothing,
We
know
don't, we
nothing
don't even
about.
touch it. We don't even touch it. No, here's my take on it though. Is like I don't think it's like I mean yeah it might be a heat check, but I don't think it's real like at all. Like I feel like it was a heat check to see how bad the outrage culture is because
Yeah.
all these people just started like I feel like they're fighting a straw man. If we're talking like arguments, like they're just like they're making. But I'm like, who's the person you're talking to? Do you know what I'm saying? Who is the person the person that you directly need to contact about this particular issue? Because I don't see them. Like I don't see them, and if they are, like I feel like there's so small a number that are making a big deal about the Little Mermaid. I know there are. I know there's nationalists and people that are making a big deal about it, but I
Yeah,
feel the
there's not a
number is
big
so
enough.
minuscule, and it's just this thing that came up. And another thing, I thought Zendaya, is it Zendaya?
Mm-hmm.
Was supposed to play Little Mermaid, but it's not her. It's some other woman. I actually didn't look.
Haley Bailey or
Haley
something.
Bailey. And for at first glance though, I thought it was a joke because it was making fun of how racist people thought it was Halle Berry because like they just like oh it's a black woman, a black actress, it's Halle Berry or
Mm-hmm.
something. And it was like no, it's this person. But then I looked into it and I was like oh it
Yeah, it's really happening. I mean, the outrage of it. I think yeah, there's a many different things about it. Why it caught on is because nothing's happening. People, a lot of
yes that's
people,
true.
a lot of people that I know and that we're looking at the joke part of it. I thought it was fucking hilarious that they made a set it off one with Jennifer Aniston, fucking who are the other chicks that are Cameron Diaz. They had those ones as the characters. I just thought all of them were fucking funny. We were having a blast with it, passing them around, talking shit, joking. Nobody's
What
taking
about
serious
were there ones for like the movie Friday where like they replaced like all the characters with like white people in
characters.
Friday? Or
Or
like
they had Golden Girls with fucking Medea and one.
and Medea, yep. Oh my god, all the Medeas though. Like it's just
But
Tyler Perry in his whole movie, which he's done that. I've seen the Tyler like the Medea movies. Tyler Perry just plays like every single character in the movie. Like I've seen
oh
that.
yeah, he killed it. He built the empire off that. He's very very good at what he did. Um, but what I see is though, but if you look at the thing, you'll get a couple of pro black and pro white people jumping in it. I watch a couple pro black sites to see like what really the temperature is on what they're really thinking when they're anti-white anything. They just believe that that's what they believe. But so I watched some of them were like taking it a little serious because there was ones, but the funniest one that I seen but had some effect to it was the one where it said everybody's like tripping about the Little Mermaid. Wait until they find out about Jesus. Like
Oh
that
yeah.
caught a lot of heat from a lot of people, and I thought it was fucking hilarious, yo. I
Yeah.
thought it was hilarious
Yeah.
because it's a made up mermaid. They could make it purple if they fucking want to. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's why to me it really because like if you watch Mulan, right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
movie that doesn't make sense unless she's Asian, right? Because why are you gonna have a white Caucasian fight in China in like the Ying dynasty or the whatever dynasty? Do you know what I mean? In like the middle century, it's just the 17th, 16th century. It just doesn't make any sense. You know, like they would have to be Asian because you're not just gonna have one random European person that's doing that, right? Or what would be another example of a movie like that? I don't know. But regardless, the Little Mermaid, it doesn't matter what the ethnicity is. Like it doesn't. There's just no way. It has no. Who cares? You know, it's just and it's a
Yeah.
mermaid. It's a fictional thing, like you said. It's a fictional thing.
And
Just
I
like the
think
joke of
Disney.
the Jesus being, people were like, oh, Jesus is this white European, which started back in European times, but really Jesus was an Arabic man. I mean, he was
Middle Eastern.
Middle Eastern, yeah. Like he had the dark tint. I mean, He probably
It
would have looked.
describes it in that book that they look into in the
Yeah,
Bible and looks at.
And that brings on another thing. I think Disney was taking a lot of heat, so they looked for a character, a person specifically, because they're taking a lot of heat from that. And plus and which is a good thing, man. They're balancing out the shit in Hollywood, because for years, if you look, like, just like you mentioned about like the Bible, any Bible movie that you've seen that's supposed to be in Egypt and Jerusalem and all the actors were white except the slaves,
yeah,
or all of them were
yeah.
white
Like
people.
like Passion of the Christ and stuff like that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like they didn't get like the actors that would make it historically accurate, but that's the thing is because they don't want to make it historically accurate
It's
because
the
it
fucking
doesn't pander
colonizers.
to the Christian. It does not pander to the Christian audience that is in America because
Right.
they want everybody to think Jesus was like white and da da da. Because it would be like shell shock, you know that if you saw like a Passion of the Christ movie that was made realistically, it'd be like shell shock because it'd be like watching like a bunch of Arabic people and they'd be like, "What is this? Like, I can't watch this." You know,
It's
that's
it's
not
it's
Jesus.
it's the fucking colonizers, Dev. When we say colonizers, we're not talking about people get offended. It's like when every person that in my family that are some proactive Black Panther grown up, my elders,
Mm-hmm.
um, on that side, on the Black side of my
Black
family,
power.
yeah, black, yeah, you better watch that, bro. You get fucked up. But nah, they,
Well, Mark
they,
getting tased after the show.
no, you wouldn't. They would say probably, what do you know about it? You get some tough questions. But they when they say colonizers and white people per se, they're not saying we're not saying all white people. We're saying the people that want to keep it that way, that don't even like you. They don't even like poor white people, those type of people, the
Yeah.
corporations, the greedy motherfuckers. That's what Black people, now this is a bridging the gap moment, because this is something people don't understand. They'll be like, why they say white people, they hate us all? No, the colonizers, the motherfucking ones that you can blame for all the destruction and everything, the ones that make it look like that's what you, like we said with the cops, the bad cops, not the good ones. So it's not that type of thing like you hear the man or all that. We're talking about that type of thing. And now in saying that, like, funny one too is like, who said it? I think it was one of those. I think Dave Chappelle said this.
Dave
I
Chappelle.
think he was like, man, in like year 3000, like he just said, the white people, the colonizers and all that. He said they take everything from, you know how Dave Chappelle is, but he's like, by the time the year 3000 comes, they're gonna say Tupac was white.
They're gonna
You
say
know what I
Tupac
mean?
was white, yeah, because
Yeah. So
they're
it's just
telling
one of those things, and I'm happy to see these things that it's transitioning into, where people that say, oh well, it's even, it's free, and it's all that. No, it's not. But these type of moves right here show something in good faith, even if they did it out of their own like scrutiny or anything. At least it's opening that door where before they
yeah,
wouldn't even
yeah,
did it.
and it's going to. I think you're absolutely right because when you start opening up the media, it starts breaking down the racial barriers that exist in media. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because it says, oh, black guys can only be rappers and and hip hop and
Entertainers, sports
basketball players and
players.
athletes.
Yeah.
But they can't be Fortune 500 company owners and yada yada yada. Even though Lowe's, the company that I may or may not work for, I plead the fifth. Their CEO is now black. The guy
Okay.
who's like their face of their company, he's some black guy. And they're like doing a whole revamp and everything, which is interesting. I think it's interesting. I don't know if Lowe's was doing it to save face or they generally thought the guy was good or
Well,
whatever. I have no.
I think people are saying, I'm not going to say that about everybody. I mean, there's a lot of people that understand the factor that shit is going out the window. That people are tired of being blamed. Just like I explained about the white, saying when people say white people, they're speaking of what do they call those? Where you're holding somebody down, it's
Oppressing.
oppressors, the oppressing ones, the ones that have the power and the money and they don't want to see change. And people like yourself or the everyday guy that's not feeling that way
is getting blame for it. So in that manner, there's people out there that just say, I'm taking the most qualified person. You know what I mean? And this person is qualified. This person busted their ass to get to this scenario, so that's who I'm hiring.
Right. Whew.
Yeah,
Okay.
wake the fuck up,
Yeah,
Dev.
dude.
Wake
I
up.
was my dad had one of those backyard barbecue type deals for the 4th of July last night, and I went out and I got to light fireworks, and I'm not talking like little firecrackers. I got to light the big ass fireworks last night with him, like the ones that go straight up in the sky and blow up like you go out and see. We lit those, man. What a scary situation to be in. Like I popped one and it didn't come out the tube. It stayed in there. It blew up on the ground, dude. Like we had to
Yeah.
run away and
You
like
could lose your hand.
that's what I'm saying. Like the stuff is sketchy. Anyway, that's why I'm half deaf and I'm talking super extra loud today because I can't hear myself. And then also, I was out till midnight, slept for like 5 hours, got up at like 5:30 a.m. to drive from State to Altoona to go to work. So it was like
The life. Did you have some more of those fucking apple cider Jonies you were drinking last week?
I still
Don't
have
even
them.
bring it. You shouldn't be telling people you drinking.
What?
No, I'm just fucking with you, man. I drank them one time too. Some females had them, and I was like, they didn't have nothing else, and nobody felt like
Well,
going to
that's
the
the thing.
store.
You buy them for the ladies, and then they only drink like four, and then you got to drink the rest because it's like, well, I paid for this, and you guys you didn't even finish them. It's like, well, I got to finish them off because the night only lasts once, so you can't get them all back together. Like, hey, are we gonna finish this off? And then if you try conning off to them, they're like, no, I'm fine. And it's like,
Be like, nah, that's not how we're doing things.
because that's how you take it because I don't want them. They're still sitting over there. I probably got like 4 or 5 left that I gotta finish off at some point, but not tonight. Like I'm not doing it.
Yeah, you definitely have to figure out. Oh, congratulations to the fucking USA women's soccer team, back to backs. They're playing Drake back to back right now. They won today, so they won the World Cup again.
Well, who's Meek Mill?
Who's Meek Mill? Who did they beat? I think it was Netherlands or something.
Ah, okay, they beat the Netherlands.
They
That
beat the
sounds
Netherlands.
really weird. The Netherlands had a great team. I can't remember the Netherlands did anything cool besides like free college tuition.
Yeah, they're the best. Like they have no beefs. Everybody's over there living great. I
Like
want to go
Sweden.
there.
It's like
I
Sweden,
want to
like
go to.
Denmark.
I want to go to one of those places and go to like to their ice clubs and all that
Ice club.
shit and hang out.
Whoa! I think that's racist. You just assume people in the Netherlands have ice clubs. Why? Because
Yes.
it's up north. That's
'Cause
so
it's up north.
nationalist of you. How dare you, Coach?
I think I seen
I'm
it on some
outraged. I'm
movies.
gonna make a meme about this.
Coach thinks every Netherlands person goes to ice
Ice,
clubs.
ice clubs. Coach probably thinks Iceland's covered in ice and
Ice.
Greenland's covered in green.
Yeah, they're
What
very
a
yeah,
moron.
the other way around.
Yeah, exactly. See?
Right.
Come
Yeah,
on, man.
bro. I paid attention in class, yo. I absorbed a
You
lot
know
of
some of that
information.
geography. Okay. You know some
Yeah.
of that geography.
Yeah, I didn't screw off all the time in school. I paid attention to the key talking points.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, if
Yeah.
you paid attention to every little thing, you'd be brain dead. You'd just be a encyclopedia.
Yeah, definitely. So, do we think that saying that? What about the female? We had like a conversation maybe 2 episodes ago about the female soccer team wanting to get more money because they're bringing in more money. They want to get paid more money. So we had that conversation. This is a strong case for them to go to the table and say, look, the dudes are getting eliminated in like day
Still get
3 or
and
something.
getting paid like quadruple what we get paid. Now, I remember when we did that show, we had someone come on and have an argument with us. Do you remember that? And he was saying that the women were he's like the women don't get paid because they're not getting paid because they don't bring in that much money. But we're like, well, that's fine. It's not about how much money they're bringing in. The problem is they're not getting paid proportionately to the rest of
what
the
they're
league's revenue.
Right. Yeah. So if you bout like, and when saying that, he didn't understand that. I remember that.
Yeah.
He wasn't understanding that it's not. They're going to bring in more money, but they're getting paid. If you brought it down to the woman's level, they still would be getting paid
Underpaid.
way more than the women. That's the
Yeah.
fight that they're saying.
Yeah, and he was like, I wish I had a call in because I would. And it's like, and I wish we did. I mean, we do, but we don't. And I wish we had that set up because when we get
We
that
need to
set up,
get some phones, man, and
yeah, man.
just let people randomly
But
call in
also
and
at the
just
same
start
time,
some shit.
we gotta start going live for that. Like we
Yeah.
go live again. That way we could just be like, because people aren't gonna pick up coming on Premiere. How are we gonna live chat you on Premiere? Like just leave it in the chat. We'll talk that shit on the chat.
Yeah,
We'll be a bunch of trolls.
We'll get back to all that. We're gonna definitely get back to all that and get that popping again.
Yeah,
Definitely,
yeah.
definitely. And in saying that, I fucking dude, I don't watch PBS at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like you wake up, you're not tired, you go out and flick the channels. Do not watch PBS because it'll turn you into a revolutionary. You'll be ready to go out right now and fight for whatever cause is on.
What was on PBS that made you want to become a revolutionary?
It kind of links to the women getting their fair rights and country music. I do not really like country music.
Hold on, stop, pause. Hold on. You just started talking about country music and women's rights.
Yes.
That's hold on. That was like a link that was made on PBS. Like they were just like, all right, let me explain to you how country music and women's rights are like finette.
No, yeah. Well, they were like, let's march. They were saying that how there was a thing called Tomato Gate back in 2015, where women were saying our songs are not getting played on the radio. They're not getting played. And the guy, like he was the head executive top in country music, makes some of the decisions and some of the record labels. And he says, listen, the guys are the salad, the women are the tomato. So they called it a Tomato Gate. They crucified this guy, attacked him. But since that time that it happened, they were following this young country singer, and she has some good music. You know what I mean? It was good. I'm not a country song person, but I listened to what was playing. It's like she should be on the radio. It sounds like the guys singing. Why shouldn't she get on there? So they were speaking on how it got worse since then. Less females were getting played on country music. And it just had me all like, I want to fight for women's right in country music.
Country music. I gotta fight the right. And that's actually kind of cool though, because that's like a story that not a lot of people would know about. I didn't know that was like a thing. Like country music women aren't getting their whatever. I guess we just gotta. What we really need to start doing. You're a liar. We need to start watching PBS at 3 a.m. and that's how we're gonna find our show's topics. We're just gonna like watch PBS at 3 a.m. and be like, all right, this is what we're talking about today.
But bro, I got jacked up. I was jacked up. I was like, yo, I wanted to start making calls.
Around like women's rights. We're gonna get them.
Because PBS does it so smooth, yo. They do it so smooth where they finesse you to be like.
Probably because they don't even get excited. They're just saying it and you're like them saying it's like, why aren't you getting angry? And you're like about ready to start fighting.
Yeah, psychologically, they're making me. They're throwing those trigger words and things out there at you real calm where you're just like and then you start getting all jacked up like, yeah, why isn't this happening? Why? Yeah, so that was just my thing is like, if there's nothing open, you shouldn't be getting jacked up ready to go start a revolution. If everybody's asleep and every business is closed, don't watch PBS because you're gonna be ready to go fucking revolt.
You're gonna get ready to revolt. You're gonna go down to Tennessee and Nashville, the Country Music Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Is the Country Music Hall of Fame in Tennessee?
Yes, Tennessee. Yeah.
Okay, then you go down there and you just burn that bitch to the ground like this is a monument to sexism.
It'd be like it's PBS fault. When I go to court, I'm gonna say it's PBS, Your Honor.
It's PBS.
PBS did it. He's gonna be like, did you say PMS? No, PBS. PBS.
No, he's gonna be like, no, I'm pretty sure you meant PMS, and you're gonna say, no, I meant the Public Broadcasting Service. Arthur, I'm talking Arthur, man.
Right. They're jacking me up at night, man. They got a conspiracy going on over there. They figured it out. They figured out how to bring in that money. Yeah. Oh. So what else you got?
We got of course the one of the under the radar kind of stories, because when you search it up on Yahoo it doesn't even come up. Mm-hmm. The gentleman
talk to me.
What's his name? Blah 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 blah. What's his name? Peterman. Or not Peterman.
Peterman.
No,
What are
no.
you
What?
talking about? What are you saying?
I don't know, man. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Oh,
Oh,
Jeffrey
Epstein.
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 Jeffrey Epstein. Yes. That guy, that kook. I had to go look up his name again. Yeah, he's an affiliate of some powerful people, and he's been arrested for sex trafficking. Or yeah, arrested. He's not convicted of sex trafficking, but child sex trafficking.
Yeah,
And
what I see in this, well, let's mention he's a billionaire. Usually billionaires can get that shit swept under, like weird shit swept under the rug with a swipe of the pen. You know what I mean? With that bullshit. So what I'm seeing out of this that I like that whatever's going on, like the pressure we seen earlier that they tried to link another rich, powerful, like when we did the thing on Crafty on his handies, getting his
yeah, I
handies.
was gonna say that. I said, what happened to Robert Kraft? Nothing's happened to Robert, right?
No, I think he silently pled. He was trying to get shit thrown out, and they wouldn't throw it out. So they're
Mm.
finally catching up to these pricks. I mean, I think it's probably because maybe the system, how it was made, like the forefathers that made it, said like you got to. Maybe we're getting some good people in the on the benches for now, the judges and all that, and the DAs and some police investigators that are saying, you know what, fuck these motherfuckers. They're doing sick shit. Let's go get them. You know what I mean?
Probably people. I'm not saying it is, but maybe you got people in my generation who have been like, yeah, like there's a lot of corrupt shit that we gotta fix, like problems that have gone unnoticed. We gotta get those. I'm not saying that is. I'm spitballing, but I feel like that would be something my generation would be like all over is like sex trafficking because up until now you don't hear too much about child sex trafficking. No, it's like either it's like the button the media never wants to touch
Mm-hmm.
for
Whatever reason, I don't get it.
whatever self-interest.
Self-interest, but it also tells me you fuck somebody at the highest levels. What do we say? There's 6 companies, main corporations that own the
On all the
media.
media, yeah, right, exactly. And I'm saying those companies are probably owned, and that's what I'm saying is by self-interest. Like it's in their best interest not to say anything because if they report on it, well, might be
And they're
contradicting their
hanging out with
father.
these powerful fucking people, whether they're participating or not. I'm not gonna say that. I don't know, but it doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't look good on paper if you're being seen with these people.
Yeah, well, the thing with the Epstein thing is, hey, you know what it is? Donald Trump has anointed these people, and Donald Trump is responsible for the sex trafficking people getting caught because Donald Trump's great.
Oh, he's gonna say that tomorrow morning. He's gonna do his normal fucking thing where they have a quote of him saying, this guy, this Epstein guy, he known him for years. He's a great guy. I have a fun time when I'm with him, and he likes young. He didn't say underage. He said he likes younger girls. There's a quote in quotation. I don't
Yeah.
have it exactly, but you guys can fucking Google it. You know the people on the left are gonna make sure that gets out on every website. Bill Clinton's wrapped up in it. It's gonna be used in this fucking. It's gonna blow up, bro. It's gonna be some funny fucking shit going on. Which I hate to say it about at the kids' expense. You know what I'm saying? It's
Uh,
gonna get. It's gonna get wrapped up with the detention centers that which I call them. Camps.
yeah.
Down at the borders and the accusations that they're made. So they're gonna run Trump through the fucking ringer, and he's gonna say, "Oh, I didn't know that guy. I only bumped into him at a couple, rich people events. I never
Mm.
hung out with him or not." And he's going to use it against Clinton, and the Democrats are going to use it against Trump. And then both sides are not going to accept that both of these people are just creepy fucks. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Hold that thought for 1 second. I'm gonna show people the quote because I found it. It was tweeted out by Tim O'Brien. Okay, I'm gonna show you. Oh my goodness, bro. That's like so incriminating.
Fuck yeah, they're gonna
I mean,
pull
I'm
that
not
up.
saying that it totally is incriminating, but it's pretty incriminating.
It's pretty bad.
Tase
Trust me.
him! Tase
Yeah,
him!
tase him. Tase Trump.
Tase
Tase him without his wig on. Catch him without his wig on and tase him.
Tase him! Get
Bro,
tased.
tomorrow morning that's what's gonna happen. He's going to come out and say, I didn't know that guy that well. I bumped into him a couple times. We talked. I didn't say that. And every Trump supporter is going to be like, no, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton. You know what? No. Retract that statement. Bring it back. Because Donald Trump has openly made himself look guilty, if anything. Because remember when we were talking about the collusion thing? And then remember how we talked about the quote where Trump said that if Russia offered him evidence or offered him information on their the campaign leader, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
That or not the campaign, but like Hillary Clinton, that he would at least listen to it, right? Which would basically mean that he's colluding with another company and or another country in an election, which would count as collusion or whatever. But I mean, the collusion's a hard to define term. We don't need to talk about that. But what I think is interesting is he would probably, based on that information, would actually say self-incriminating things. Tomorrow, when I asked about it, he might be like, "Oh yeah, he was a great guy. Yeah, great guy. He got caught up in the wrong stuff. But he did like younger women. I liked the younger women. They were pretty cute. They were pretty hot. Yeah, they were pretty hot." And then,
but like, I get what you. He said this quote in 2002. Yeah, this goes back. So he's gonna say what he's gonna say, but he's all the only thing different that he could say about that is like, I had no idea, but the shit's so incriminating. He can't. They're gonna use this, bro.
Yeah,
they're going
to use this. At the same
this.
time, well, I guess you're right about the whole because he kind of, even though he did say he was aware of the problem, because I've met people that I thought were good people, and then like they do some crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Like rape a girl kind of crazy stuff, and you're like, bro, what? I didn't know you were like this, you know?
Yeah.
And like I had your back on things. Like you were a friend of mine, and then you do something. I can't respect that.
Right.
But I think the fundamental difference is with Trump, he already knew he was doing that, right? With me, like say in my situation, I didn't know my friend was like that, right? Like it was like that hidden thing, the closet, like you wouldn't have no clue. But when Trump says something in 2002 about how he likes younger women, I think that's incriminating. I think like that's like, yeah,
that's enough for him to get canceled in today's fucking. But they're not going to. They're gonna find a way to spin it. And like you just mentioned about him saying, "Oh, if the Russians came to me with the information, I would listen." That's the same thing he probably did with dude. He's gonna say, "Oh, like, what's he gonna say? Oh yeah, he came to me and told me about this party. I listened, but I didn't participate in it." That's all he can fucking say, because the quote itself is going to fucking put him through the ringer once these fucking everybody turns back on for Monday. You know what I mean? Going into Monday hard, they're gonna go at this, or those 6 powerful companies that we talked about are gonna say you can't talk about that. So we have to go deeper into the internet and YouTube stations to see what those people are saying.
Hey, but this is what I was saying was whenever I told you earlier, whenever I tried to look up Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking on Yahoo, there were no results. No results.
Yeah, Yahoo is in on the fix.
That's right. I mean, I'm not conclusively saying that. I'm just saying that why is it that there are no search results on Yahoo? I'm asking a question. Someone find the answer for me because I don't know. But could you look up and figure it out? Could you ask Yahoo why they have no information on Jeffrey Epstein?
Ask the
wouldn't
Yahoo.
It be crazy? Wouldn't it be crazy if Jeffrey Epstein was a subsidiary of this particular thing? Like he owned like a portion of Yahoo.
A portion of Yahoo. I wouldn't doubt it. Or his cousin or his brother-in-law. So go ask those Yahoos over at Yahoo. Why the fuck it's not in the search engine. We know you guys don't shut down on Sunday.
I will tell you this. If you go to Wikipedia, this is just a funny little thing that I just seen. It says Jeffrey Edward Epstein is an American financier, science and research philanthropist, and registered sex offender.
Yeah, he's registered sex offender before this. He got caught up into some shit.
I know, and it's like
he's fucking freakzoid. Man, they need to make an example. This is where I honestly believe if you do crimes against a kid, a woman, like, and do sexual deviant shit, and you do something against the elderly, people that are disabled and can't defend themselves properly, you need to be made an example of. This is where I would say, hey, grab one of these cats. I believe in that. Grab one, castrate them on live TV. I guarantee you it would drop the
My
bottom.
my balls hurt. My balls hurt
Yeah,
thinking about it.
I'm saying though, bro. Think about that. Think about that. That's something I'd get on board for. I'd vote for.
You watch. Would you? Hold on. Would you be like ready to watch it? Like, yeah, cut his nuts off.
I wouldn't want to watch it. I don't know. I might watch it just to say.
Well, because here's the thing. Somebody's got to watch it. If you're gonna demonstrate someone getting their nuts cut off on live TV, I think you gotta watch it.
Imagine those memes. Imagine those memes if they did that. That would be the greatest share. Whoever makes the first one, most powerful one, would be the greatest share in social media history.
Yeah, someone getting their nuts snipped. Nah, man, that stuff's already out there. I got friends that.
Whoa! Wait, what?
No. The meme, like I'm talking about memes and stuff. Like there
Oh.
are some dark, sick, disgusting memes out there, right? Like I had a friend who once showed me a meme compilation where there was child pornography, and I was like, "What the?" I'm like, "Bro, why are you showing me this? Like, where did you get this?" Like I was almost like,
Dark web.
but that's what I'm saying. Like it almost scares you. You almost don't want to know where it came from. You're like, no, I don't want to know. You say it like we're just. I'm like, you know what? No, I don't want to know because I don't want to get close to any of the stuff you're looking at, man. Like that's, like, you know what I mean? Because like that's the kind of shit you looked at it and you're like, oh god, you did the. My heart goes out to investigators and journalists that have to that are trying to show the truth, and they have to see the disturbing, disgusting, messed up things to get behind the truth.
Just imagine what your psyche would go like what you just said if you like we consider ourselves some unprofessional professional journalists. I don't want to give you just bullshit. If we went and looked at that shit one day on the dark web and went through all that bullshit, what we would see, bro, I know I would come out of there a different person.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. What I was thinking more of is I wonder if we would get murdered for saying something. Like the dark web people don't play, I would think. Like they're like, all right, we gotta send a hit out. You get hitmen off there. I don't know though. I feel like the hitmen on the dark web would be like going to Craigslist for that, and like some guy tries to kill us one day, and we're like, dude, you messed up. Like, why didn't you?
Yeah, I don't fucking think they would be worried about us, bro.
Yeah. Well, what if we were like a big platform, man? Like, what if this thing blew up to like 30,000 followers or something, and like we had this story and it like got like 2 million views? Like, you think?
So how much do you think our murder, even on that level, how much do you think the dark web could get for our murders, bro? How important? What's the price?
Man.
What's
Maybe
the
they
price
got a
point
hitman in the area. They're like, man, like just go dispatch these cats. We'll pay you like $1,000. There's people out there that make it look real easy. Probably just put like some poison in your drink. I'm not saying I thought about it. I'm just saying that I'm guessing that's how they probably do it. Put some like poison in your drink and be done with you. Be like, all right, cool, you're done. You're dead. Put some cyanide in your food. Like when you're at the thing, they pay somebody like some person like, hey, here's $1,000. Just put this in this guy's sandwich and like don't say nothing.
Oh, it's very easy. You can hire somebody to get a job done for cheaper than what people really think. You know what I mean? Very cheap. People kill people for cheap money, bro. It's like if you have you ever watched 48 like a 48 hours thing when they bust somebody like they do an under Operation Sting and they thought they're hiring a hitman. We're talking like $5,000, bro. In between $5,000 and $10,000.
Our lives would be worth $5,000.
Yeah,
That's sad,
I think
bro.
they would be like, bro, we're not even gonna charge you for that. Those guys can get we'll get maybe $600.
You know what? I would offer my hitman more money to just go out and have a beer with us, and so we can make a joke, an example of like this guy was paid to kill us.
Yeah, we're gonna give you. Yeah, we're gonna turn that around. We'll give you. Would they offer you 600? We'll give you 600, and we'll give you 600 in food stamps.
Food stamps. And 600 food stamps. You can just have that. So go get yourself some foodies. Go get yourself some cold subs and enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't want to we want to see you succeed, man. So here's some food. Get some food in your belly and go out and get a job tomorrow.
Yeah,
that doesn't involve murdering people.
do something else, man. I don't want to get whacked today, man. But that's how
Yeah.
easy it is, man. But those, just bringing on that thing too. I watch a little bit of that too because it intrigues me. I think we had a conversation with your friend Kiki about that, friend of the show, too, also about like what, like we were
Shout
talking
out
about.
Kiki.
What's up, Kiki? Um, we were talking about Ted Bundy and what made him do those things. I watch those things what the fuck makes people make that decision? Like, and the things that they say it can't be that. It's something so that can be resolved. It's hate. It's built up in anger and rage that you can't stand that person that bad where you would actually want to see them dead instead of fucking figuring out the issue. So, and it's weird, bro. You have like mothers because the father's like saying, "You're a bad mother. I'm going to take the kid from you." They hire a hitman. That's the one I watched last night, actually. And she hired a hitman, and they fake it too, bro. This is what's cool about it. The police will go get these people, take pictures of them, put makeup on them like they're dead, and show it to these people and watch their reaction. And the people would be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he's dead." And they're thinking in there, and we're thinking because we know what's going on, and them cops are like, "Yeah, bitch, we know what the fuck we have you on tape about how heartless you are, and now they call it bad acting." It's just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say, but that did bring up a topic that related to something that happened in our local town. Was the lady went batshit crazy, and she said that she had a feeling that someone was going to harm her family, and then she tried to kill her family to stop the person that was going to harm her family. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, did she ever maybe think the person that she was thinking in her head was going to harm her family was her? And I was like, man, and I'm like, that's some serious schizophrenia because I saw the lady's face in her mugshot, didn't look like she was of this earth. I mean, did not look like she was of this earth. Like her face was like she was not here on this planet.
I seen her too. I can compare it to that Pizza Bomber too, that Netflix thing that we talked about. That fucking Margie Deal. That's how I felt when I seen her in person, bro. I pride myself on not being scared of people. Like if I am, like if I have a fear to face that fear, but I couldn't. I got away from that chick every time she came around because of the fucking fear that took over in me. Like I don't want to know what the evil that is. That's what she looks like. What you're saying in that picture, like she has that type of aura where she's just fucking evil. Yeah, she's hearing voices that are probably her own, telling her, "I'm going to kill," and talks herself into doing some ill shit.
Right. But just imagine, like, oh man, like how crazy you'd have to be, like how fucked up in the head, just be like, oh, look at go kill your son and your daughter. Like, wow, I don't know.
Well,
Anyway, man.
hold on 1 second. Let's delve into that real quick before we get off here. Fucking dude said that. Andrew Schultz, like the Brilliant Idiots, his brother has that problem. He has schizophrenia and he hears it. And he brought him over to the show with the Brilliant Idiots, and Charlemagne was there. And he went up to Charlemagne and said, "God told me to do this," and swung at him. And he said, "Whoa," he didn't hit him. He got out of the way. And they were like, "Well, that's just my," he says he hears like voices and people tell him. I said, he shouldn't be just walking around
the street. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and that's the thing is like people, I know people that have schizophrenia, and they're just, as long as they take their medication, they're fine to walk around, which to me is like crazy. I mean, like, because there should be like, I mean, I don't want to say this because like certain people have certain disabilities whenever they gotta, but I mean, like people like that, but are, like demonstrably are a threat to other people.
Yeah,
they gotta be watched. Like they gotta be on you gotta be on a leash. You gotta watch these people.
And if they don't take their meds, like it could go as far as they get balanced out, they find the right med combination and they're good. And then when they feel in self, you got to monitor after that, and you feel yourself like that. There was one serial killer. This blew my mind. It was big 70 things. He killed a whole bunch of college kids, and he killed his mother because that's where all of his rage was pointed to. But this guy got arrested for killing his grandparents, both his grandparents. He was like 16 years old, shot them to death. They took him to a mental hospital. He figured out how to answer the questions on the test that they get, and they let him out, and he ended up killing more people. So you got to watch. I think if somebody kills somebody and they freak out you get that insanity plea, I think they shouldn't. I don't know. I think they should be in a hospital. You know, that should
Forever.
be their
That's it.
life.
You never see
That should be
sunlight.
their life. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the minute you kill somebody else, even if you are because you are crazy and schizophrenic, there's no way out. I mean, you're in a loony bin the rest of your life. I think that's. I mean, it's kind of messed up, but I mean, that's it. Like you took a life for a life, and you're not gonna die. No one's gonna execute you, but you're in a loony bin for the rest of your life. I don't think you should see it like the outside.
Cool. All
All
right.
right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd say, Coach, you don't have anything else to say.
No, nothing else.
Tase him!
Shot.
Tase him!
Tase every fucking body. Just another shout out. Reminder everybody go check out Creator Cat, man. We appreciate the love yesterday and the continued love. I see that people keep fucking popping up throughout the day. Respect it.
Awful.
And we'll be talking soon with him. And everybody out there, like our page, comment. Don't be scary if you're on that page. Talk some shit. You don't agree with us? Talk some shit.
Yeah, all those
Tell
new
us
members,
we're full of shit.
Yeah, all those new members tell us we're full of shit, or just tell us our opinions, like what you think about some of the shit we talked about tonight, man. We love it. We love hearing back from you guys. And like I said, me and Coach probably are gonna go back to doing lives, so that way y'all can just pop in and say what's on your mind right then and there, and then whatever else. But
stop being scary.
Stop being scared, or else
We don't bite.
You're gonna get tased. You're gonna get tased.
Yeah, you're gonna get tased. I'm gonna get a taser, Dad. Would you let me before we go?
No.
Would you let me tase
no.
you?
No.
Come on, bro.
No.
We got it. You brought this whole scenario.
We could do some different shit, bro. I never said we were gonna become Jackass, bro. I never said I was gonna start jumping in fucking tanks full of sharks with like chickens strapped to my penis. Like I'm not doing
Be
that.
the new Steve-O. Be Dev, the new Steve-O.
No.
Devo.
No. Absolutely not. All right, as always, stay beautiful,
bro.
everybody. Take care of yourselves. See you later. Have a good one.
Bye.